Welcome to Seasaigh Suas. This is, I don't know what part this will be, but this is a Kildare County Council funded piece that we're making for awareness of being an active bystander and to combat racism and discrimination in Ireland. With me, I have a recurrence of Tabiso. Do you want to say that into the mic?
Spin back. Spin it back.
I'm spinning it back. I'm here with, again,
Tabiso Maliti.
His brother was a mobility.
Abu Janadi, you know me in the flesh.
Okay, my first question for you all is if you were to take one piece of your culture and introduce it into Ireland and have it be a prominent part of our culture, what would it be?
I'll go first. My mother's like a really good cook.
Yeah.
Whenever she makes South African cuisine, I'm convinced it's the best food in the world. Even though I haven't tasted most of the world's food, but I can get a gauge of how high it is. So I would say the food, definitely.
Okay.
It has to be a staple. No more potatoes or roasted. That's me.
Damn, this is a hard question. What would I bring? To be honest, I'd say the fashion. I feel like Nigerians have just always been so creative and I swear the fashion in Lagos is like some of the best in the world, and I think even just like traditional fashion and now and everything is just they're just swag yeah.
Maybe I would say the pride in your language, because in South Africa there's so many different languages, and everybody speaks their own with passion, and they're really proud, like especially Zulus. And in Ireland, we definitely need that because we speak in English. The young people, especially old people as well, nobody knows Irish except in the Gael talks or teachers, and it's not on. I don't think it's on. Yeah, that's what I would bring.
Okay. So obviously we're gonna be real that you guys are all friends. You two are brothers.
Yeah.
How has been your experience as a group, as individuals, growing up in Ireland as young black men?
Well, for me, like growing up, it was difficult. Racism was just it was the comedy, it was the norm, in primary school and stuff. And because obviously he's my brother, we weren't in the same year. He was 1 or 2 years above me, so you didn't have somebody to back you when somebody's going disrespecting you in that way. But within the household, a lot of nice food, South African food, like pap and boerewors, and just be a nice community. Even though there wasn't many South Africans, because me and Uzma were from, our heritage is South African mainly. There hasn't been a big South African community in Newbridge, but we did have one auntie who was real nice, and we would go to her house and stuff for the holidays, for our birthdays and stuff, and that was really sweet. Yeah.
For me, growing up, it was good if we say in the household, we're raised differently from European kids, some of the kids here, and I think that's to a net benefit. It made us very independent and I feel like well-adjusted, and still a lot of discipline in our lives, and just stopped us from being as wayward as we could be. So definitely the way I was raised, even though at the time, putting myself in that shoes, I was like, bro, this is like a terror. This is like a police state. But I think it was for the better, truly. So I would take that part. Then obviously, as was mentioned, the food, just amazing food, Jesus Christ. And then when we transitioned to school, it was like, bro, the, these kids in primary school, they just be saying anything. Especially when you're just like, what? You're like, and then you have to navigate that, and you're just like, wait, can you just like talk normally for a second? Because like, even though like we're 6, 7, you're talking crazy right now. And then it's just trying to navigate that. Sometimes you say it to their face, and then they'd stop, or like you just slowly like phase it out. You just have to wait for things to change in that regard. So, yeah, that was primary school, and then in secondary school, I don't know what it was, like that the planet shifted or something, but there was like this transition from like dark skinned men being seen as like lesser in looks because of where they're from, and suddenly we just saw 180 in the last 5 years, and I'm actually so grateful for being a part of that. Like while I'm still young, like we got Duke Dennis, Damson Idris, like
Abu
Silky,
Janadu.
like Abu Janadu, Damson Idris to my right. It is kind of crazy because before all they wanted was these light skins, and I was like, can you just like for 2 seconds open your eyes? So that was, you know, let's try and ride that wave.
God is good. God is, amen, amen, amen. Yeah, shit. Are you?
Do you have
I have one. Yeah, I have one. I have one.
did you
Yeah.
speak?
I spoke, yeah.
Would you like to say something?
No, I'll let you go.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Could you reiterate the question again?
How has it been?
Give her the mic.
Oh, sorry.
How has it been for you as a young black man growing up, whether it was as a group or individually as a young black man in Newbridge?
Jay, it's like, to be honest here, if I had to say, it's very strange, cause like I have a lot of siblings, but like we all grew up like separate from each other, so I would have grown up more so as like an only child, like, so I'd say it was like. It was in my childhood I would say I was quite like isolated, and like if I would go out in the estate, like I'd be like the only black kid, so it'd be kind of like, because I didn't have like anyone else in my house that was around my age for me to go with, like I'd always just be like, oh, who's that, what's this or that, I'm like but yeah.
Oh no, I was just like, it's a sign of agreement. Cause I didn't say it, but yeah, it was really isolating.
Yeah.
Because we had to move from Roscommon because of racism we were facing, and then our mom was really scared of letting us out. And I remember when I had my first friend in our new estate. How old was I? I was probably like 10 or something, and it was really nice. It was a really nice experience. This is the first proper friendship I'd had outside of school, with someone who wasn't related to me, and yeah. But it's very isolating. It was very isolating.
And what did it like? What was that racism? How did that present itself? What were people doing basically?
They would bang on our door, kick balls at the door, and on this when we were coming out, they would scream stuff at us. And I don't even know the worst of it because we moved when I was 5, and so I wasn't really lucid enough to experience the worst of it. But maybe you can add more on that.
Yeah, I remember Kalubia, to get one of the boys to stop. In like 6th class, he like beat him up, like on the bus and then at school. So he'd stop kicking down the door. But that was harrowing. but like I can only remember it in flashes. But it's harrowing flashes. I think they like slashed her tires. Bro. And then when I go back there, I'm just like, Jesus. Like, cause like the 4 houses down, there's a house that's been like firebombed since we've been there. So it's just so many of the people were just so insane in that estate. Like, like they're just so. Yeah, that was harrowing. That was harrowing. Because there was some good people in Roscommon, like who are black. It was a shame not to be around them. Because like there's not really. I'm just gonna make this claim. If it's factually incorrect, I don't give. We're the only black family in the Meadows, like that estate. And then you go to the paddocks, and then you see more. But we're the only black family in our estate. Realistically, like.
Sorry, no, I know 3, actually maybe 4 black families that live in the Meadows.
And his part is going to be cut out.
I'm in control of the edit, so I keep dropping the microphone. Sorry.
I feel like all of this is going to be raw and unedited, guys, to be honest.
Let's hope for your sakes it's not. I wonder as well, in terms of your pop culture that you would have consumed growing up, whether it was TV, music, how did the other young people or young children react to yours? If you get my question?
I don't think.
Or did you even feel comfortable enough sharing it with them?
Yeah, there wasn't really a space to share it usually. Because, like, my mom, she would always play, like, she would play Maxwell, D'Angelo, people like that. And I didn't hear that anywhere else outside of my house. The R&B stuff like that. Or even, what's the one who got done in for R. Kelly? Yeah, my mom loved R. Kelly. R. Kelly, yeah. And obviously South African music like Miriam Makeba. Yeah.
What about you guys, the rest?
No, I'd say like me personally, I did not like miss out on any on the music. I feel like because even Nigerians, they're very into like Western media in general. But like I would say, I definitely understand what you mean when you like there definitely wasn't a space to share like did like not like Nigerian music or like be like, oh, this is like look at this, look at that. I don't think I think at the time people just were not even interested. I think it's only again there was another shift.
The great shift.
There was the shift.
Published this.
There was the shift from Jamaicans to Nigerians, and the world has never been sweeter. It has never been
This
sweeter.
is the kind of supremacy you're going to see throughout this podcast. Cut it all out. Cut it all out.
No. But like African giant, yeah. Please, go on. Sorry.
Giant
so-
bills. Lots of bills.
Yeah, God help me, man. But
But
yeah.
you know what? Another shift is happening. It's shifting from Nigeria to South Africa.
Liar.
Amapiano is
Liar.
no,
Liar.
like
No,
Amapiano
no.
is up. Tyler is huge.
Cupcake is huge.
Yeah, like
Your
Uncle
president is
Waffles.
Cupcake.
That's his nickname, yeah. Because one of his mistresses called him Cupcake in a text message or something, and then it got leaked, and everybody just started calling him Cupcake.
Oh, damn.
That was it. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
The world leaders are calling him Cupcake. They're like,
Yeah.
the Prince Charles is next to Cupcake.
Yeah. Right. You know what's crazy, y'all, guys? It's that not South Africa. Sorry. In Nigeria, President Buhari actually like just died. I think this week, and fucking, but the people are like actually so many people are like Instagram and shit like mourning his death, like crying. But this is the same dude that like they're like, oh my God, he came to us as if a crime from God. Like he actually tortured the people of the country for like how many years? I was like, it was over. Like, do you remember this SARS? Yeah.
SARS
Oh
thing,
my
yeah.
God.
They killed some
Yeah,
kids.
serious. It's over. The children were protesting that the police were killing
And
them,
they shot them.
and then they turned off all of they turned off all the lights in the city. They did, and they,
They turned off all the cameras, all the lights, so they won't get caught killing the protesters.
yeah, and then they opened fire, like straight up, God. And that's President Buhari. But like, and people still are like, oh, Baba Buhari, Baba Buhari. Yeah, fuck you. So,
Just goofy bitches.
I know, right?
That ass.
God.
But that reminds me of when Jacob Zuma. This is less, but he's still a crook. He's still a thief. When he got put in jail, this is the president who stole like trillions, and who couldn't read. Was well, I don't know, but when he was in prison, it like triggered one of the biggest riots in South Africa. I was just like, what is actually the reason for going outside and rioting right now? Because he's in jail. I mean, because they put him in jail where he should have been. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. He was just such a thief. He was such a crook. You'd never imagine if someone stole from you all this time and you're like, you know what? Once the people catch him for stealing all that shit he stole from me, let me protest. Let me get him out. What?
And what do you think of the Irish government?
We should protest more about the right things,
Yes.
not commandeering the green bus
Yes.
and shutting down the Lewis because of it, because of immigrants. I mean, high house prices and unhospitable conditions for a student or someone or a young person wanting to, find a purpose.
Yeah. I feel like, the ability to riot is an important part of any democratic system. I do believe that there are some times in which the people are justified in which they can riot, but I would like that the riot to not have to would not have any violent intent towards me personally. You know what I mean? Like I would like that to keep to like I would like the riot to be about lowering the housing crisis, um, taking all these homeless people off the streets, fixing whatever heroin issue that we got going on. Like the amount of crack in Dublin. What's the point in any of this? If people were like, nah, this place is fucked up, like all of these issues, we need someone to fix it right now, and we're riding for that, man, I would have been up there in Abercrombie as well, bro. I would have smashed the window. Like that's like I just feel like you can do anarchy, but for the right reason. Yeah.
Abu, would you be comfortable with sharing, or the rest of you sharing, where you were when the riots took place and how that made you feel, as even though you guys grew up here all your lives, the discrimination, the actions were, and did they feel a personal attack on you, like Abu said? This was a targeted question.
God damn. Okay, so I'll say I actually on the day of the riots I was in college, and then I got on the train back to Newbridge.
Where
Like
did you go to college?
I go to college in NCAD on Thomas Street. But yeah, on the day I was actually as soon as the like everybody had gathered for the riot, that was when I was getting on my train. So I missed it completely. I didn't even realize until like I was like lying in bed, and then my brother calls me, and like, then he's talking to me all frantic. He's like, "Where are you? Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, he's asking me all this. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, and he's like, "Yeah, this and that." He says, "Right." I'm like, "I'm at home, G." He's like, "Okay, G, just be safe." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I Google it. I'm like, "What? Riot in Dublin?" And then they're like, "What? Riot in Dublin 2024?" I'm like, "Fuck." What was that? 2024? 2020? 2023, right in Dublin 20. I was like, shit. I'm looking at it, and then I'm reading all this shit, and then I see the videos, and I see the video of the group chat, and dude is like, let's just kill them. Like, I was actually spun. I was like, I remember the next day, you're just like, yo, are we okay? Like, are we, like, I'm looking at all you white people, I'm like, are we chilling? Like, I didn't even know. I was a bit paranoid, but then, like, I feel like whatever happened that day was just like a burst of like hysteria that was like, I do think it was slightly manufactured, and I feel like parties were at play trying to ignite people who were hurt at the incident that happened, but it was allowed to go um overboard and like be hijacked for the wrong reasons, and that caused yeah, that caused what happened. But I feel like right after that, people realized like, what the fuck are we doing? And at least for the most part, it completely calmed back down, except obviously the odd far right protest. But I feel like I don't know. I might just be me being hopeful, but I swear they're getting a bit smaller every time. Yeah, yeah.
What about for you guys? Do you know where you were when?
I I probably left school early. I think I was in school, but when I left, the riots hadn't started. So I found out about like on Snapchat, like people were like breaking into stores like on Abbey Street. They broke into Foot Locker, this and that, and then obviously the taking over the Lewis, the taking over the Green Bus, that shit, the really viral stuff, or the guy that has been on fire. It's like, what is actually happening? Like, is this happening now? Is this like found footage? Is this like in a movie? But no, it was actually happening in Dublin. And I think I was not surprised. I don't know, when I saw it, I just was not surprised. Like, because there's people that you meet and you're just like, yeah, you're capable. You've got that in you. To be a rioter of that nature, to like subvert like yourself like that and cause all that damage in because of someone's skin color was so like, it was sad that I expected it. Is the takeaway. And then actually on Snapchat, one of my friends was like, "We should go to Dublin so we can get free shoes." I was like, "Oh, interesting, interesting. Should I join?" But yeah. And then the day after, it was like nothing happened. Like the news, if you didn't watch the news, you probably, and you were walking, you're like, "What? What happened?" And then you talk to people like non-whites about what they were doing that night. I was like, "Yeah, I had to go get home quick. They shut down all the transport. I was scared to go anywhere," which is like another thing. Like the Irish government, people in like high places when this was out did nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was like they were actively trying to like make the riots like worse. Like the school you went to,
Yeah.
like a lot of those students like aren't white, and they just left them there to like walk home.
Yeah,
Like who's that guy who had to walk to tell her the light skin? I was like, what?
They kicked them all out. Yeah.
And this is like the values that you. Oh, so the microphone's all the way down there, but the values that you uphold. Like you preach them in your school, but you do not practice them. I was just like, are you crazy?
Yeah, and about my school actually, because I remember a time I was co-president of the AfroSoc, and we had in the AfroSoc group chat the next day when when we were all kind of like debriefing and checking how everybody was after the riots, and we were like, because everyone was like just in a state of awe, and then everyone was just sending in one by one their accounts during the riots, and a lot of these people live in Dublin, and they are all people of color, and they were just it was like, um, it was very emotional for everyone in the group chat because we were just like we felt so hurt and like it was like why is this happening kind of like it was really like fuck, and it brought everything together, and so many people were like afraid for their lives during that night, and they were just yeah, eh, strange life. I guess. Yeah.
If you could, like, go back in time, what would have been the ideal scenario? Would it have been like the government spoke out, that like the guards were more reactive? What would have been the ideal situation you would have liked to have seen from the general public or the government, that would have made you feel defended and valued within the communities that you were staying in?
I'd honestly say, I don't think we could say I could have seen more from the guards, cause like the guards are already useless, but like to be honest,
The
but
pigs,
yeah, they are what they
the
are like,
filth.
but fucking, but for what they can do, we can't expect that much, and if people are rioting. It's a riot like it's hard to control unless you're sending in like riot police, but like we're not Ireland don't do that like it like they don't hit us with tear gas, but like, so like I don't think there's much more the police could have done. They tried to minimize it what they could. It was out of control. Out of control is out of control. But like, um, what I would have liked to see more was more, not really from like any government figure or anything. I would like to see more from a bigger like show of empathy from like the general public. I would have liked a more of a y'all yeah, like an open display by the general public that is like, we don't fuck with those people. Like, what the fuck is that? Like Ireland is for people to come and have fun and do whatever the fuck you want and chill out and go to the pub, do what you know what I mean. Like, not to force that upon us again, because I think people actually come to Ireland too much for drinking. But like, there is a culture here of like, if you can have fun, you're welcome. And I don't understand why there wasn't a greater like, at least I would have hoped for that afterwards. They would have been like greater, like whoever did that, like that's so fucked up. Like, we can't, like that's not what our country is about. Let's try to remove this from our country. But I don't know. I feel like people are blinded by hate. And again, I will say there are forces at play that are projecting hate and trying to feed and discourse within the masses. Like, it's there we go.
What about you guys?
Yeah, about that hatred thing. The people who are stirring the pot, like, they are so crazy. Like this guy Tommy Robinson, or people adjacent with him. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's like they want to start some sort of class war, race war. It's like, why do you want to kill us? It's just so, you know. Like, to even ask such a question is like to grapple with that. You're like, what's the reason? And you will never find like a rational answer, conclusion. So, I just turn off the mic.
Is it green?
But I held it down, then I turned it off.
It's
and I turned
okay.
it back on. So,
If the green light is there, you're fine.
but from Irish people as a whole, like when that riot happened, I actually agree, like 100% with the boo. Like, where was the? That was fucking crazy. Like, even one person to say it, because no one has actually ever said it. No one has ever said it. I was like, that was actually wild.
Yeah.
And people just like, it's just, yeah, Foot Locker. Did you hear it got broken into? It was like, what?
Yeah.
They broke into Foot. They didn't just break into Foot Locker. It's crazy.
The context in which that happened is the problem.
Honestly.
It's fucking wild. But yeah, there's just, as a whole, this country it's just not serious. Like, there's just not serious people at work in this country. So I guess I can say it's to be expected.
I would have loved for this to have been a wake-up call for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael to get their act together. Because the reason it happened was because, like, the economy's been failing regular people, and they've allowed this whole narrative of refugees being the cause of the housing crisis to fester because it benefits them. Because then they don't have to reckon with the fact that it's their failure over decades to not implement the correct housing policy, to allow these multinational corporations to steal via the tax loopholes. But no. And I think even after it happened, you could see that their method of kind of getting the general public back on their side was to kind of lend more credence to the idea that there might be an issue with the refugees, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see, even afterwards, the shift from young people in particular, which I was disappointed by, to turn around. And the joke was the Foot Locker was okay, guess the green bus isn't coming today, what's new? Like, all this comedy to come out of this very serious event that fucked with a lot of people, and to pivot it to the joke, which was at the cost of who they looped them into, which was the stereotype of a working class group. And to allow this struggle to go between the groups the government should be supporting the most is really interesting to see and disappointing to see within our government. But the fact that there was nothing, there was no counter protest, there was no sign from communities that the people they were protesting were welcome and that they were valued parts of their communities. And I think, as you knowing our history is like as Irish people, it's disappointing to see that what was done for us all those years ago when we were the oppressed, that we are not willing to pay the same sentiment back to people within our communities. Trying to think of another question I could prompt for you guys. You go, Boo. It's all you.
Yeah. So, well, all I'd like to say now is I'd like to thank you, Chloe, for this podcast. I'd like to thank you, Tabs, for being here, and you, Izoma. And I'd like to say thank you guys for watching. This was Seasaigh Suas. No,
a project funded by the Kildare County Council to promote the act of bystandership amongst the public and to educate about the dangers of just being a regular bystander.
thank you, Tabs. And that's all. Peace out.